think each year I focus on like, okay, God, what do you want from me from this year? How will I grow? How do you want to stretch me in new ways? Is there a verse or a word or a prayer? And I kept going back to 2 Corinthians 4. So I was like, okay, I'm going to journal through this verse. And 3 points came and they each had a vision or the word eyes or whatever. And I didn't think anything of it. And I asked God, okay, Lord, like, let this be true of me. Guide this year by focusing on my gaze on you. That was January 9th. I went about my day. The kids started school. We were doing well. And my husband mentioned like, hey, you've been kind of like tripping over things lately, and maybe you should get your eyes checked. And we both kind of laughed because I've never had glasses in my life. And I was like, okay, I guess this is just aging. And so I made an eye appointment and got in January 16th. And so, I started my appointment. She did the eye chart, 20/20. She started to do a peripheral test, and she said, what number am I holding up? And I said, I don't even see your arm. As the appointment progressed, she got more and more concerned. I finally was like, so what does all this mean? And she said, you may either have a brain tumor or you are going blind. She carried on that, blindness is the trajectory of this disorder called retinitis pigmentosa, where your photoreceptors die in the back of your eye until you lose your peripherals. Basically, it just closes into a tunnel until your tunnel closes. So she said, judging by what you have, you've got about 58% is already lost. I'm 35 years old. She's saying I could, it'll progress relatively quickly, and each appointment has basically been worse news. And, they thought maybe originally I would lose my sight in my 60s or 70s. And then genetic testing and all these things have kind of fast forwarded my timeline to my 40s, if not by the time I turned 40. And so the days that followed that appointment were really overwhelming and heavy, but at the same time, like, I felt so close with the Lord and so sure of my purpose in this. My husband's one and my one that we've been praying for have both been impacted by my diagnosis. She came to my doorstep and said, I read your blog and I don't understand how you can reconcile that there is a good God with what you're going through, but I want to try to understand. So it's been so cool, the fact that we're only 6 months in at this point to the diagnosis, and seeing the way God's drawing not only ourselves to him, but people that we've been praying for years to see him in a new way. There have been days where I'm like, this stinks. I want to see my grandkids. I want to see my kids walk across the stage or walk down the aisle. But at the same time, like, God is a good God who does not withhold things from his children. And he's giving me something in the place of what's being taken that's far better than sight.